Hello and welcome back to Tony Northeastern, and we have reached a milestone here on building this layout. I'm actually going to start the station, but before I do that I have to give a shout out and a big thank you to George Tullen for sending me some really interesting photographs of the station in the 1980s, which has allowed me to make some few changes to the platform. Thank you for that, George, very much appreciated. And also Big Al from Dragon Junction, he's back on the air again, which is good to see you again, Al. And a couple of the shout outs before we get stuck in. John at Exhaven Harbour is just starting out. He's been doing it for a couple of weeks now. He's got his baseboards down and he's got his backboards in, which he's done himself. He's building an N-gauge layout down in the Bristol area, I think. So if you want to have a look at his channel, go ahead. That is John at Exhaven Harbour. And another shout out I've got to give is for Chris at Wheezy Palace Model Railway. Hi Chris, it's good to see you. Right, let's carry on with the build. And here's where we're going to start. We're going to start here at the northern end of the platform, just where these steps are. As you can see, I've been marking it with lines where walls are going to meet up with each other and little things like that. So the first thing we're going to do is build the Gents, which is sitting here along with what used to be the old luggage room. As you can see, I've been very busy drawing up the plans for cutting out the card. I'm going to be using 2mm thick card. It's going to be strengthened to make sure that when the oval roof goes on, it's going to be well supported. So here is the Gents, and this is the old luggage room, and there's the two windows with one of the sliding doors, and then beyond that we have a pillow, and then we have a wall which leads down to the steps. So that's at this end, and that is the side wall. As you can see, we have the pillar there, which I can go ahead and build this and just leave the card sticking out where I can add the pillar to it, and there's the little retaining wall which goes down to the steps. So I've been quite busy. Right, so this is the area we're going to be concentrating on. Building that wall and this Gents and the old luggage room here, and obviously that little retaining wall which goes right to the end of the platform to the steps. And here we have the first wall to be erected at South Shields. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to double it up, so that'll be twice the thickness, so that's going to be about 4mm thick. And then here, right on the corner, there'll be a pillar, which is going to be 10mm thick that way, and possibly about 14mm thick that way. And I'll just use layers and layers of card encroaching on this side to thicken it up. But yeah, it's getting there. Right, here we are at the bench, and I'm marking out on the card these dimensions here. Now there's not a lot changed regarding dimension wise, because these dimensions here are all off the platform. The card that I cut earlier was off the baseboard, so there's a difference in height of 18mm. So I shall continue with this. I've marked out for the pillar, so I'll just continue marking it out. Marked it out ready for cutting. I have cheated a little bit here on the windows. So what I've done is I've measured the distance of the windows and put a window in there and just drawn around the tops so it makes almost a perfect match. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pair the windows up per slot. So what I'll do is I'll just stick a little number on the side or something saying this belongs here, and yeah, I'm doing it that way. It's just to make it a lot easier. I mean, I've done all the hard work, measuring and measuring again and checking, so that's going to work. So I'll cut these out and then we'll stick it to the other one on the baseboard. Now I've got both pieces cut out, I'm just going to stick one to the other, making sure that the datum point, which is the pillar point, is absolutely flush, and these window ledges here are absolutely flush. And a little tip is I have put some glue into a jar and drilled a hole into the lid and screwed the brush to the lid so that the brush is just deep enough to go to the bottom of the jar. And the good thing about it is you don't have to wash your brush out ever again. You just leave it inside, screw the cap on, and it keeps the glue from going off. So just a little tip. So all I'm doing now is just going to glue the two pieces together, just using the PVA wood glue. Yeah, so I've left a little bit of a gap for when I come to put the card on, so it folds round the inside of the windows, just to hide the card. So another thing I'm doing is I'm marking the windows to fit the holes that I've just cut out. So we've got window 1, window 2, and I've marked it on the drawing so I know where they go. Right, so I'm going to start putting some Metcalf bricking onto the walls now. As you can see, I've left a little piece there for the pillar, and I've left 8mm there for the next wall to be glued onto this wall. You'll see as we go on, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue that on there and then mark and cut out and then fold the brick card round through into the windows. I've cut out for the loading bay door and one of the windows, and I've still got one more left to do. So this is what I'm doing. I'm actually scoring or cutting through the brick paper at least 2mm away from the edge of the window that's pre-cut. All the way around. And basically cutting right through the windowsill edge. Like so. So you've got a little ledge there, and what you do is you just push that round into the wall all the way around. Do that so it's absolutely tight against the wall. Just get something to roll it around in there as well, which will help keep it up against the card. And once you're happy with it, peel it back and then put the rocket glue in there, because you've already forced it round, so it should go back in shape. Just using a toothpick again to make sure the glue goes all the way around the window insert there. And then once you've done that, back on the other side, and just using something round for the top so it forms the shape. just push it home, and then something a bit flatter for pressing that back. And with it being rocket glue, it'll go off so quick, and you leave nice crisp edges on the card. So the window should just slide in there. Okay, I'm putting a what you call a hardcore supporting wall on this edge, like there is on the photograph, just about there underneath the outside of the building. What I've done is I've just chamfered this edge slightly, because I'm going to paint that in a cement colour like it is in the photograph. So although it's stones, it's uneven cement running along this edge. And here is that photograph. You can notice it there, just under the door. It's starting to slope away, the cement is, see? And there's the side wall, if you like, and then underneath is the main support wall. So it's double thickness. So now you know what it looks like on the outside of the building. Now we have the foundation walls in, and we've bricked the card up. It's beginning to take shape, as you can see. So the pillar here will have a sandstone type finial on the top. I'll show you that at some point. There's not many photographs of those sandstone capping stones. They're quite chunky and very decorative, and I'll have 4 of them to make up. We've got the end wall in. It's still loose, just sitting there, and as you can see, I've peeled the brick card back a little bit to reveal the original card, and I can paint that a cement colour, and I'll do the same along there as well. Right, just before we move on to the Gents, I just want to show you how snug these windows fit into the wall. Now I'm putting the good side of the windows on the outside, because what I'll do is when I come to weather it, I will dirty the inside windows so it looks like they're steamed up with soot and stuff like that. But these are really snug fit. Yeah, I had a little bit of a trouble with that one, because where I've folded the card over in both places to meet in the middle of the wall, I'm having to press really hard to try and get the windows to fit in. But once they're in, they're not coming back out again. So I'll try again. It's just that corner. I'll try and get them halfway in so they cover the joint. There you go, I'm happy with that. So we have completed this bit. Now we're going to do this building here, from here to here, and that wall going that way and back round to the front of the station as well. Right, a thing to note about this building. Here we have a support for the trusses that go along, so I must remember to put that in. So what I'll do is I'll cut this to 166, then add on at least 8 millimeters, and then cut this out so it's one piece, so it's within the building as well. And then when we come to do the brickwork, I will leave the brickwork short and make this one big stone so it looks like it's been carved to do the job of supporting this ironwork. My front wall with the 2 doors and the 3 windows as per drawing, and I've made it 8 millimeters longer than we've got on the drawing, and I'm now just resting the ironwork on the top edge, and I'm just going to mark underneath it where it's going to sit on the ledge, which is there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a sandstone block, and then just cut this out, so when that's cut out that will then sit on that ledge. But before I do that, I've got to mark my 166 because can't really take up any space, and I need 166. Score a line. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sort of come out and then something like that. And now what I'll do then is cut this out, and then cut this out. Then I've got a support then. So what I'll do is, now I've got that shape, I'll cut 3 pieces like that and stick them on the back to give it the same width as that, because that's roughly about 6 mil, I think. Yeah, it's 5 mil, so I'm going to make it 6 mil, so we've got a nice ledge for this ironwork to sit on. So I'm just cutting the pieces out now, being ever so gentle that I don't lose any of the shape. So I'm taking out a little bit. Obviously I'll treat these ends with PVA once they're once the other 3 are glued to it. Right, here we go. Right, so I've cut the extra pieces and glued them together, and so we'll let the glue go off, and then once that goes rock hard, I can be able to sand it to get it to shape, and then and that'll be ready for this wall going in here, and glue right up to it. So you're probably wondering how I'm fitting the windows to the walls. Well, basically what I've done is I've taken the measurements off the drawing here and put them on the back side, because I've got this capping stone here which holds the beam up, and then getting the distances right, then drawing around the windows and then using a scalpel to cut out the windows, but I'm also leaving enough gap to bring the card around inside, so that when you push the window in to the aperture, if you like, it leaves a nice neat finish on this side. Now this card is so easy to work with. For using the scalpel. And there's another one. Just by looking at this, you get a rough idea of what's going on the platform side of things. As you can see, with that little sandstone support on the end there, supporting the ironwork with the pillars. It's not glued in place, it's just to show you. So as you can see, I've glued the loading bay door in ready, so I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, so that's coming along quite well now. So this is the drawing for the wall that goes across the back. It's been altered to add an extra window. It's going to have 5 windows across there, 2 for the gents, and I think these 3 will be for the luggage room. So let's crack on. So here is that wall I'm just about to start. It's a recently acquired photograph from George, which shows that there's 5 windows on this wall, and if you zoom out a little bit, there's also a little window down there, but I haven't got a clue why there'd be a window down there, unless there was a basement for storage or whatever. But yep, so that's what I'm going to tackle next. Just place the walls loosely just to have a look-see, making sure that all my cutouts and dimensions are working out as they should. There is a height difference between the ground level and the platform level, and I have an idea of how to fix that. Because this wall here is going to be 18 millimeters higher than this wall here, I'm going to obviously reinforce this wall because it's going to support an oval roof, and I will have a return tab coming out so that the pitch roof would sit on that, and then obviously there'll be a separate oval roof support here for the roof in this area. Yeah, that would be the way to go. So I'm just going to cut the end wall now and see what it looks like. Okay, so here we have the end wall for the gents, and basically it's just a sort of like a house box shape. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to extend the wall out by 4 millimeters, which will allow the supporting of the oval roof, but keeping this in the position where it is now. So I'm just extending the wall here by 4 millimeters. Right, yep, that would work. Okay, now we have the end wall situated for the gents and the luggage room. It's starting to look like a building, and as you can see, we're already preparing for the next stage as we come along. So what will continue to happen is, here is our 18mm drop, so this wall will carry on along 18mm until we get to the main station, which is about here somewhere. Then it will go up another 20 odd mil or so. I'm not sure, but I've got to look at the photographs. And then the main build of the station is going to be about here somewhere. So it's looking quite promising at the moment. But as you can see, I've come a long way out originally from the platform, just by that 30mm. And it doesn't leave me a lot of frontage of the station by the time we get to the main building. But I seemed to knew that it was going to be the case anyway. So I've got a lot more work to do on that end wall there. There's a blanked off door in that corner there on this side, which probably presumably would have gone into the Gents. But looking at some really old photographs going back to the 1950s, they bricked it up then, but had a window on the top. Now it's hard to tell with the older photographs whether they did it before that, whether it was a bad design to have two doors going into the Gents, one there and one round the other side here. Maybe they clashed. I don't know. Or could it be that they used to sneak in there and get outside without a ticket? I don't know. So that's why they decided to block it up, eh? But it's interesting. But I will do that. I will put in the bricked up doorway, but I will have the window. So I'll have to go and make a window for that, because I didn't prepare for that. Right, now that the brickwork's been done, to cap it off, I've just put a lintel stone in, and what I'll do is I will paint that sandstone colour and then weather it when the whole station is finished. I'll just go around the whole lot with the sandstone paint. So that's that side. So the front, so I've got to sheet that out now and put the windows in. Okay, I have glued the brick sheeting on, and you've noted how I've cut round the sandstone block. So what I'll do is I'll paint that and then weather that. So the next thing to do is cut out for all the doors and windows, and then we'll ready for assembly. Right, I'm just about to put the last window into this wall here, so I thought I'd better show you how I did it, or how I'm doing it. So basically all I'm doing is I've already cut out the card approximately 2mm from the edge of the opening on the inside, and what I'm doing now is just folding the card round to make sure it's right on the edge, and then just to make sure it's all the way home is just give it a good push in. And then once you've done that, just open it up a little bit to put your glue in. So I'm going to use the rocket glue for this because it goes off quick. Just put a few dabbles in and then just get a toothpick to run the glue in. Make sure it's all the way around to every little piece of card. Once that's done, and then do the same again, just push it in all the way, and then grab the window, which I think this is window number 3. Yes, it is. And then just push it in. And the window will help push the card in its place. These are quite a snug fit once they're in. And I just push them in so they're flush with the wall. Just try not to get any glue on the glass. And there you have it. So this now is ready to be attached to this piece. And that's the Gents front and luggage room done. Right, that's the 5 windows gone into this wall. So what we'll do now is I'll glue this to the rest of the building and we'll have a complete building. These have turned out to be a lot better fit than the others. I think the reason being is when the card is, I'm only using sheeting by the way, the Metcalf sheeting. I'm not using the card because it's too thick. Because it's such a soft card, you can just press them home, and with the surrounding on the edge of the windows that we put on right at the very start, it just sort of pinches it and you get a nice flush finish on all the windows, as you can see. And on the back side, it's virtually flush. Little bits of card have poked through, but I'm not too worried about that. As you can see, I've used a couple of dabs of super glue around the outside of the frame just to hold the frames in place, even though they're quite a snug fit. That's the blocked up door of the Gents, and here's an overall view of how it's looking at the moment with the 4 walls together. I've only just stuck them together. It's quite sunny up here, so you're getting an overall picture now. So that's the Gents and that's the left luggage room, and there's the loading bay doors and the 2 windows. So on the whole it's coming together quite well. The heat is playing havoc with the card though. You glue a piece of sheet to the card and then within minutes it's starting to curl up, so hence why there's a lot of reinforcing going on in the building. Yeah, it's interesting making something yourself rather than relying on kits. So I do like the way these 5 windows have come up really flush, and you can hardly see any daylight with them. So now, as I was saying before about the difference in height from the platform to the ground level, this wall here will be continuing from here onwards right away along the station as it goes, to allow for the drop. Now that's the only subtle difference you'll probably find from the real thing. So let's have a look at the other side. And this is the view from the other side of the building. And it's come along quite nicely, I think. Still a lot more work left to do with this building, detailing wise. There's windowsills to go in, there's drain pipes to come down, and obviously there'll be advertising billboards in between the windows there. And if you look at it round the corner there, there's a sandstone plinth that's got to go along the centre of the building, which when it goes around the corner will line up with the windows at the correct height. So at least now it's all together in one lump. It's a lot easier to manage. And I'll be doing it in 3 stages, really, building this side of the station. So I'll be concentrating firstly building this, getting it as detailed as possible before I concentrate on the middle building. That's the main entrance and the parcels depot. And right at the end we'll have the waiting room. And once all 3 of these buildings are linked, and there's a canopy to go across here, which is going to be interesting to do. And yeah, so on the whole I'm quite happy with the way it's going. Got to keep thinking all the time, dimensions and things, but yeah, on the whole I'm quite happy with that. So thanks for watching. It's been a long video this, I do apologise for that, but so is the build. Thanks again. Bye.